For days, Unyala tried to find the person who used the lotus. The process was slow because she had to bypass the soldiers Jabari had used to tail her movements. She found nothing until she saw Ismat. It was the only logical reason. After all, Inyala's spies in Jabari and Kamari's court never saw the men or their servants close to the temple. Inyala made a decision right there when she had to bow to Ismat, the queen of Kush. Inyala refused to let go of the throne. The throne had been hers, carved from years of war and sacrifice. The kingdom had been hers, shaped by her will alone. Now, she was expected to surrender everything to a past that no longer remembered her. She would not. Agnes burned into Ismat, the girl who had stolen her future and shaped it into something unrecognizable. A servant turned noble, a forgotten name turned into power. Nyala saw the way Ismat held herself now, head high, shoulders squared, bearing the weight of stolen time as though she had always been meant to stand at the top. This was not her life. She did not deserve it. The fires in Kamari's mind burned hotter than the ones he had planned to unleash upon the temple of Ammon. He knew the temple held the truth. The temple held the lotus. And if the lotus had rewritten history once, he could do so again. He would not allow it. The world had already taken him once. It would not take him again. The temple had to burn. It was the only way to ensure that no one else would ever wield its power. Let the past collapse. Let history swallow itself. He no longer cared. Jabari had watched the world reshape itself into something both foreign and familiar. He had ruled, and yet he had never truly been a king. The past had been manipulated beyond recognition, twisted into something that defied the very order of time itself. And yet, there was still a way back. Somewhere in the archives of his mind, buried beneath layers of forgotten teachings, he found it. An ancient law, a forgotten rule. In the world that once was, he had been denied his right. But in this broken timeline, that law could still be invoked. A loophole in time itself. And with it, he could reclaim his throne. But power did not come without cost. If he restored his claim, if he faced time to acknowledge what was rightfully his, the current timeline would collapse. Reality would